anything below 12 volts is completely discharged. Sunday's video, and we've got some crazy ideas coming for you. Obviously the snow has possibly now gone on Sunday, so it's a good time to actually have a look at your caravan or motorhome. Obviously it doesn't really matter whether you're using it or not. Hopefully you've done our tips from previous videos, so if you've not already, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and then have a look at our previous videos that will sort of show you what you should have done to make sure that your caravan is winter ready. And again, that doesn't matter whether you're using it or not. Now as we've had that, well, this cold spell, it's gone really cold, so you've got to be careful looking inside the caravan and making sure that you've not had anything that has bottles of water, anything that could potentially have frozen up and split. So toilet chemicals are a big one. So if you keep your toilet chemicals in the caravan, maybe you keep them in the washroom area, in one of the cupboards. We've seen it so many times when we've sort of opened up a cupboard or on the floor even, and there's been stains of the toilet chemical, and it stains the floor, it stains the wood. Now that sometimes will happen from having the bottle inside the caravan, it's freezing up, and then obviously you don't notice it, it splits and then it starts leaking everywhere. So any bottles of any description, if you've got them inside the caravan, go and double check, make sure that they've not frozen up and actually split and caused any problems. Camper pretty much done. We are going to have a look at some more tips on the caravans of sort of what we should be checking now after this frost. But I'd said about looking at the camper, pretty much done. I've got my little underlight LEDs finally in. There's a few little silly bits that we've just got to finish off and tidy up, but it's pretty much done. Front seats just got to go in. And then we're close, and we've got our drawer in here now. I just need to put a handle and a little lock on there. We've got a big sort of cupboard in here, so we've got nice storage, nice easy access to all of our fuses and electrics, and then a little bit more storage here. Leisure battery is here, and that's the lithium battery that's in there. We've got a nice little cupboard on the side here, so again, nice bit of storage. So it's worked out pretty much what I've got in my head. So we've got our little sink unit, again, nice and easy to make your drinks if you needed one. 2-burner hob. We've got a proper gas box in the back, and it's all been piped in properly. And obviously we can stand up in here as well, because we've got our proper pop top going up nicely. So really pleased, to be fair. I think it's, I've probably mentioned it before, just going to be just under £20,000, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks this is going to come on sale, and it's hopefully then going to go over to our Gailey site, so it'll be on sale over there.
Do they have to be pink?
You can change these to whatever colour that you want.
Oh, thanks.
So yeah, there's a little sort of thing here, and we might just add another little set of lights around the top in this sort of section as well. So yeah, these are the only ones just as a bit of like flare lighting, and again you can turn them off if you don't like them. So but yeah, nice little thing, I think. Now hopefully you had drained your caravan down, got everything all completely emptied, so your toilet system, your normal taps and what have you. So again, a good time now that we're sort of starting to thaw back out again is just having a quick look, making sure that your pipe systems are all looking intact. There's no signs that there's been any water that's leaked out anywhere. And again, actually just inside of the caravan, sometimes we'll get a little bit of condensation that will then turn into water inside the caravan. So going through all of your surfaces and making sure that you've actually wiped everything down, give it all a good clean through, making sure, having a look all through your cupboards, just make sure that there's nothing, so there's not been any splits on any of the panels, and then all of a sudden we've had a load of water gushing in because it's frozen up, expanded and split even more. So just having a good visual check around your caravan, a good time to do that. And obviously we're going to get this more often now, so it's pointless in filling your system back up to sort of get water through and check it and then have to drain it back through again. Hopefully, if you've done all of our tips that are popping up now in the videos from previous, you've already sort of done all of that and made sure that the van is sort of done and as it should be. You could potentially, depending on where you are, if you've got it in storage, connect up your gas and then run your heating for a bit in the caravan just to start sort of airing it back through. But the problem with that is that while it's still cold, if it is really cold, we're going to cause condensation within the caravan by doing that. So don't do it until we've sort of got the normal ambient temperature above 10 degrees. And I think probably this weekend we might just be back up there. So again, it might be a good time to sort of just do that. But again, just naturally it should have started to sort of air the caravan through and actually just warm it back up again. So again, a good time just to do all of your checks. Again, as we sort of get the ice and all the muck coming off the caravan, just giving it a good visual check through. Some of the Baileys, you don't really tend to get the panels cracking on those, but on the Swifts, on the Elvises, on the Lunas, again, just a good visual check just to make sure that we can't see any signs of any damage, anything that's split on there, any problems. And we want to do that on our front and back panels. So again, just having a good look through. Again, if we can move the caravan forwards and backwards, it's not a bad time to sort of just move the caravan a little bit on the wheels. Again, if we've put it sort of in storage, it's nice to allow a little bit of room behind, so we could actually push the caravan back very, very slightly, or even come forward very slightly, so we're just in a slightly different place with the tyres. And again, if you've got a motor mover, that's a good time to sort of check that. And again, your battery, so your leisure battery in this cold weather is going to really take a hammering. It's surprising how quickly your battery will start to discharge in the colder weather. Now, anything below 12 volts is completely discharged. So we really want to have the battery above 12.3 volts. If we've dropped below 12.3 volts, our battery is getting damaged now. So we need to make sure that we either remove that leisure battery, take it off the caravan and give it a good charge, or if we can, plug the caravan in and get that battery charged back up again. Now, again, it's a good time to potentially, if you've got your caravan plugged in on the drive, and it's just constantly plugged in and you keep the heater on, or a little heater inside the caravan, and keep it nice and warm inside, obviously, do you still...
Oh, he's gone that way.
I've hid from you. I've run off. Make sure that you've done your little checks, as we've already said, just going and having a look. And even if you've got a heater inside, it doesn't mean that you're not going to get problems. So again, you need to go and have a good check. Make sure that you've got no signs of leaks or anything like that. But if you have got it plugged in, disconnect the electric and actually run your leisure battery for a bit. It doesn't do the leisure battery any good just being constantly on charge. So disconnect your mains 230, double check then what the battery is reading, and then just run all your lights. Put all your lights on inside the caravan, and put absolutely everything on there, do a few checks in there, and that'll just then give the battery a bit of a discharge, because again, we need to cycle the battery. It's no good with it just constantly being on, and sort of that can cause as much problems as being left.
So you're better with a proper charger than you are just plugging the caravan in, really?
Well, it will do it with just your normal caravan plugged in, but even if you've got a normal proper charger, that will really let the battery come down and then charge it back up, and let the battery come back and charge it back up again. And even if you do that and you leave it sort of on that, you still want to cycle the battery a little bit. The battery wants to be cycled. It doesn't want to just be in a constant state. It wants to literally go down, come up, go down, come up. So running your motor mover is a really good one, because again, that gives the battery a good sort of check and a good running through. So don't just sort of think, oh, I've got my caravan plugged in, I don't need to do anything. Cycle that battery. Another nice 5 berth. It's not 6 berth, it's a 5 berth. So this is similar to the Ancona that's just been sold, but it's only got 2 bunk beds, so it's just 5 berth instead of being 6 berth. So again, nice van. But again, same thing, you'll get trims now like this. So again, that's just sort of, because of the weather, it's shrunk, and then sort of what we can do is,
I was going to say, how do you fix that? Because it's shorter.
All that you've got to do is heat it up and push it back in. But the problem with that is, because of the weather at the minute, it will just
Pop out
yeah.
again.
So there's a couple of ways that you can sort of deal with this. Number one is we can take it from the very bottom and actually come back up and then sit it back in there.
It's not glued then?
No, they're just literally a T. So on our camper van where we've built all the just units, like and we put the T trim in,
yeah.
Same sort of thing, it just knocks in.
Yeah.
So it'll end up leaving a little bit of a gap at the bottom, but we can just literally pull it out, put it back in there, feed it back in, and then obviously we'll just have a little bit of a gap either at the bottom or, if you can, at the top. I don't think you could do this one on the top.
It's tucked in, isn't it?
But sometimes they've got a little bit of extra, so it might be that you can get that out of the top and you wouldn't notice it at the top.
Yeah.
But even if it's at the very bottom, you're not really going to see it.
No.
The other way that you can do it, but again, it's the wrong weather to do it now. This is really more of a job when we come back into sort of March next year, is we could heat it, put a little bit of glue in there, and then get it back into place, and then just with some tape it into place and let the glue go off, and then that'll stop it from happening, because you will get that with the hot and the cold weather. It will just happen. And again, we'll get it on our window rubbers exactly the same. So don't think that if you see that the window rubbers start to sort of pull out and they've shrunk a little bit, it's not like it's not caused a problem. It's literally just that our plastic will expand and contract, and it will just shrink slightly. So again, heater, little hairdryer or something like that, heat it up and then put them back in. But again, it will end up just popping back out again. So what you can do is you can buy this grey insert off of eBay, measure what size it is, order yourself a metre of it, and then if you cut it and then just feed a new piece in sort of underneath, so just literally where it's popped out, if you just give it a cut and then feed it back in, or you can undo your two catches and then put a new piece in from the middle of there to the middle of there, and then you've just filled in that gap there. So a few different ways that you can do that. But again, obviously in the cold weather now, it's pointless trying to do it. It's not really, you're not going to achieve anything, and the chances are by next March it's going to have come back out again. So
then it's just an aesthetic thing, isn't
yeah,
it?
it's not an issue. It's not causing any problems. But the one thing, as I'd said previously, is now you want to be going and making sure that there's no condensation, and making sure everything is looking good. So hopefully that has just give you a few tips with this cold snap that we've had to go through. Go and have a check of your caravan, make sure it's all looking okay and everything's so sort of as best as that you can physically see, and that'll keep you sort of on top of things until next season. Obviously if you are using it, again, it's not if you have a look at the weather and how it's looking, you can again run the water system back through again, then just make sure that you've got no pipes coming off. But what you want to do is have your water container outside, have your pump ball plugged in, and then have somebody on your pump switch, so that when you turn that pump on, if one of the pipes has come off somewhere, you've got somebody there literally to turn the water back off again, and it's not going to just fill the caravan up with water. So again, more if, as I say, if you are using a caravan, you go, right, actually we're going away in a week's time, I want to just make sure all my water system is okay, rather than getting onto site and then finding that I've got a flood or anything like that. I can deal with that now, so good time to do that as well. Thanks for watching. I'm Mark at the Caravan Place. We will see you next week and see what's happening then. If you've not already, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and we'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Mark at the Caravan Place.